Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas with David Held, Executive Director of Stark Tuscarawas Wayne Recycling District.
Yes, Recycling District. That's right.
Focus on the recycling part of it. So talk to us about recycling. Let's say we haven't been good about this. How do I get started with really recycling in my home? What can the average person do to make a difference?
Yeah, it's really very simple. The first thing that I would do is check to see where you live. Most all of the municipalities that are in the three-county area do have a curbside recycling program. And so if you live in most cities, they do have a curbside recycling program, and you just, take the appropriate container. A lot of the communities now have the wheeled carts, and so you can take all your recyclables, you put it into the wheeled cart, and because that's really the state-of-the-art collection that we have right now, where you have one recycling truck or one waste hauling truck, and whether it's waste or recycling, you have one container for waste, another for recycling. You put all your recycling in the one container. A truck comes up by with an arm, they lift up the whole container and dump it. And so that's worked out very well. So if you want to get started in recycling, if you're a municipality, get the container, find out what container they use in that municipality and start recycling. If you're in a township, for example, we do have the various recycling drop-offs. So we've got over 400 6-yard recycling bins throughout the Stark Tuscarawas Wayne district. And so every community does have a local recycling bin. And, you can put it in a bag, or you can put it in a recycling tote, take it to the drop-off and recycle it.
That's the thing that I was always curious about, because at home we've got, our little glass container, we've got our paper container, we've got plastic container, and then we would end up putting that all together into one thing and putting it out. And I thought, why are we doing that? Yeah. So, we head out now to the places and just do it ourselves, because each bin is marked so well. Cardboard in here makes it so nice and easy. And once you've separated, then another person doesn't have to resort it, right?
Yes. And
Makes sense.
What's really interesting is that tells me you've been recycling for a long time, because people that have been recycling for a long time, they separate everything. So they'll have the glass in one container, the aluminum cans in another container. And so what we used to do at the recycling district is at our drop-offs, you'll notice that we'll have a paper bin, and then we have a cardboard bin, and then we have a commingle bin. But we used to have 3 collection routes. So we would have one for paper and cardboard. A truck would come by. Then we would have another for metal and aluminum cans. And then we would have another truck that would come out and collect for plastic and glass. Now, we had 3 trucks and 3 routes.
Wow.
And so it wasn't cost efficient. So now what they do is they call it commingling. So they'll take the plastic, glass, aluminum, metal cans. Those will go all in one container at our drop-off. So we have one truck and one route. Well, we have multiple trucks, and we collect 7 days a week, 365 days a year-round to collect the recycling. And the weekends are the most highly participated times that we collect
busy,
materials.
You're right.
Very busy.
Yes.
So you can take all of your paper, or you can take all of your plastic, glass, and metal cans and put that together. You don't have to separate those.
Okay.
But the paper and cardboard, we do like to put, even though it's the same truck that collects the cardboard as with the paper, any guess why we separate the cardboard bin from the paper bin?
So they don't get messy?
Yeah. What's funny is that if you take like a refrigerator box and people don't break it down, there's oftentimes a lot of air in the container.
Makes sense.
And so with the cardboard recycling is going through the roof, and that's because of Amazon and all the online purchases.
Right.
So the cardboard is going up significantly.
But we step on the boxes, right?
Yes.
To take the air out.
Yes. We want them to be broken down. So what we found is that if you just put paper into the paper bin, you can get so much more weight in a paper bin because it's more compact than as if we were mixing the paper and cardboard together. So even though it's one truck that collects the cardboard and the paper, I've had some residents that would tell me, I've separated the cardboard and the paper, and then the same truck comes and collects it.
And picks it
but
up.
it's just it's really just to make it more efficient.
Okay.
And so if you want to start recycling, it's kind of a lot like voting. We have found that once you identify where you have to go to vote, it just becomes habitual.
And same with recycling.
Yes.
Once you know where to drop them off, it's very easy to do and just make it one of your Saturday errands.
Exactly.
I'm curious as to what kind of an effect Amazon has had on the number of cardboard boxes. I know that's pretty much how I shop now.
Yes.
So what does that do to all of our recycling efforts?
Yeah, and so what we've found is that actually the volume of recycling that we've collected has gone up significantly due to the cardboard. But when you think about it, the materials that we're collecting, like plastic bottles, are now like 40% less in weight, and metal cans. If you look at your plastic bottles, your metal cans, your aluminum cans, they're much lighter than what they were like 5-10 years ago. And so, but it still takes up the same volume in a truck. So we're having the volume that we're collecting is increased significantly, but the actual tonnage has somewhat plateaued.
Okay.
And it's also due to cardboard. Cardboard is the fastest growing recycling that we collect, and that's due to the Amazon. A lot of people are buying online, and so we're just watching the cardboard recycling. It's going through the roof. But what we ask is that all the residents, when they're recycling the cardboard, break it down.
No, just step on it.
Step on it, right? Exactly.
Pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the National Sword Program.
Yes, that is a recent occurrence here with the Chinese market. So the China actually collects a lot of recycling, and they're a big buyer of a lot of our recycling. But in the past, they were not as stringent on the material that they were buying. So we would take mixed paper or mixed cardboard, and we would bale it in the United States, and we would sell it overseas. The companies that buy from us. And
let me interrupt you. They would buy our garbage?
Yeah, buy our recycling. You could say
okay, because then they would use that as a resource to create something, make something else.
To create new products.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So the country of China is very progressive in buying material that has been recycled because it's less expensive than having virgin material, right?
Okay.
And so, but right now what they're saying is that they're no longer going to accept contaminated recycling.
What do they consider contaminated?
Yeah, so anything, so if you're going to buy a bale of cardboard, they want cardboard only. They don't want mixed paper in with it. They have no tolerance now for any sort of contamination, or even if it's like, plastic that's mixed in with the cardboard. They want it separated, and it has to have less than 1% contamination rate. Otherwise, they will reject it. So what we're really asking people to do on a national level, it's really, really important that people are much more careful with what they're putting into the recycling bin. Historically, we would say, when in doubt, just recycle it. But now we're saying that, make sure that the material that you're putting into the recycling bin is clean, of any food debris, and at the same time that it is a material that we actually accept.
And sort it.
Sort it, right. Now, a lot of the bins that we have, like at a curbside program, it's all commingled. So your paper and your cardboard and your glass and aluminum could all go into one container, and then the company, let's say Republic Waste or Waste Management or the Kimball Company, will collect the recyclables, and they will sort it. So you don't have to sort it at the curb. They will sort it at their facility. But at the same time, it has to be clean, because they don't like to have, broken glass that's jammed into the paper, because then it just makes it to where the customer that is buying the recycling, they don't want it. They'll reject it.
Won't buy
Yes,
it.
the Chinese will not buy it. They're rejecting it at a very high rate. So we just have to be, when we're recycling, make sure that it's clean. We don't want to be sticking our garden hose into the recycling bin or things that are just not acceptable.
Okay. What about the fact that so many things that we're recycling, this isn't their first time around the block. This might be something that's been recycled from something else, and now, who knows how many times that water bottle that I'm recycling has been a previous water bottle. They don't all get turned into my deck.
Yes.
Some of them come around again as another water bottle. Does that contaminate it at all?
Yeah, no, it's because really it's the process that you're taking the plastic bottle and you're recycling it. So the process itself will get rid of the impurities. But the thing is if you're dealing with, let's say, paper, if you have paper that's contaminated, it's just more expensive to take out the impurities when you're recycling paper, and it's just less expensive if you have a cleaner recycling. It's kind of like if you're vacuuming up your floor. If you have a clean floor, you're not going to have as much waste in your vacuum cleaner. But if you got a real dirty floor and you got people walking in tracking in dirt, it's like it's going to take a lot more work, a lot more vacuuming. So so really the companies, the processors, they just want clean recycling.
Makes sense. Where do we find out more information? Do you have a website where we can really, this has been a lot. And, so we can read up
of
about
information. You can go to time2recycle.org. So it's TIMETORECYCLE, time2recycle.org. And we've got the various locations that people can recycle, participate in the recycling program. And you can also call our office too, which is 800-678 5839.
Let's give that one more time.
800-678-5839.
All right. David Held, Executive Director of Stark Tuscarawas-Wayne Recycling District. Time2recycle.org. Thank you so much for all you do in our community.
Yes, thank you for having me, Susie.